one of the wealthiest cities in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and this is how we're treating people. To see people fleeing traumatic situations, having their human rights violated so egregiously, we should be ashamed of ourselves.
The struggle for safety and a better life. What drives a person to leave everything they know, everybody they once know, their family, their friends, to travel to a land to look for safety and opportunities?
I chose Canada, but unfortunately, I'm here for almost 2 weeks. I feel so sad. We expected at least people of Canada, the central government, whatever it's called, to welcome us.
Some of the African migrants have been forced to sleep outside this building.
We're going to be talking about asylum. And this is coming based on recent activities that have actually happened in recent times. We've seen a lot of videos on social media where a lot of people have been having issues seeking asylum.
This includes many in the LGBTQ community, fleeing from persecution from countries like Uganda, where the government has just enacted capital punishment and long prison terms for queer individuals.
So I've always wondered, but there are different reasons to why someone would just leave the comfort of their home, their birthland, their inheritance and everything to seek asylum somewhere else. So before we dive into this topic, we will start talking about what is asylum itself and who is an asylum seeker. Asylum is actually somebody seeking to find refuge in a place of safety. For example, this person is having issues either based on his religion, his race, or something else, and his life is in danger.
Was accused of promoting homosexuality in Uganda. When I was found doing an outreach for my fellow LGBTQ individuals, that is when police started hunting for me. I decided to leave the country to settle for Canada. In Uganda, being an LGBTQ person is really, really punishable, and you're liable to life imprisonment, you're liable to being killed.
Actually, why I'm here, it's because we were caught back with my partner. You don't live openly back home. It means you either have to be an outcast, you have to be stoned to death, you have to be flogged naked around the village, and you have to be humiliated, and you are rejected.
He decides to find refuge in another place. But a lot of people confuse asylum and refugees. For an asylum seeker, he's only applying for this so as to leave the country of which he is to go into the next country to a place where he can have safety. But somebody who has already been declared a refugee is somebody who has been attacked either by violence or also by any natural disaster, and he doesn't have a place to stay. He needs a place where he can have refuge. And for somebody who is seeking for refugee, he's already declared a refugee even before he leaves the shores of his country to travel to another place. But for an asylum seeker, he applies for asylum. He can only be given refuge when he arrives at the city which is giving him asylum, or at the border on the point of entry, he gets his refugee status.
Asylum means you are looking for a protection, and when you get that protection, you become a refugee.
I am your host. My name is Harry. I'm a content creator and travel consultant. I love to share the experience of Africans living both home and abroad. And on this episode, we are going to be talking about nothing else but asylum seekers.
A refugee. To begin with, claiming asylum or seeking a refugee in Canada isn't for those who are looking for a better life, neither for people who are looking for greener pastures, but for those who are looking for protection.
If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, hit the like button, and make sure you have your notification on, so whenever I upload a video like this one, you will be the first to be notified. Who is it that doesn't like the comfort of his house, his village. You remember how we sit on the rocks and enjoy in the village or back home. Sometimes you never get to get this opportunity. I'm making this video based on some certain videos that I've just watched in recent times. And this is a video of some people sleeping on
in New
bare
York City,
concrete
and this is what I'm covering
in New
this
York.
Monday morning. I took this video at around 4:30 this morning outside the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan on 45th Street. This is actually on 46th Street, but I'm just showing on this side to show the line of migrants that are sleeping on the sidewalk. Now, these are asylum seekers. They arrived in New York City a couple of days ago, hoping to get processed at the Roosevelt Hotel. Now, this was an iconic hotel. It's been in movies, but it shut down about 3 years ago and reopened earlier this year as an intake center for asylum seekers. Now, this weekend, they were at capacity, so these migrants were left to sleep on the sidewalk. You can see the only thing separating them from the concrete is cardboard. Except for these folks here, you can see them sleeping right on the concrete, right on the sidewalk.
These people came in to look for asylum.
If you've been following news out of New York City, you know that this isn't new. This has been happening for the past couple of months. There have been more than 93,000 asylum seekers that have arrived here in the city since the spring. Officials have said that this migrant crisis is costing the city billions of dollars, at least $4 billion, and Mayor Eric Adams is asking for more federal help.
And they are overwhelmed by the numbers of persons that have actually come on asylum. So that's why you find these people sleeping on the floor as the government tries to make way to get space to accommodate them.
But after fleeing to Canada, some have ended up sleeping on the streets for months. This is because of infighting between levels of government, with the City of Toronto claiming they have no shelter space, and the federal government maintaining that they provide hundreds of millions of dollars to support refugees. The advocates say that they're being used as political pawns as days drag on outside during a summer of extreme weather, and that they're also facing racism in the face of over 120,000 Ukrainian refugees that were taken in by Canada and housed.
Traveling could be something. Travel could really mean a lot of things.
Anyone who treks across the border here into Quebec is told by Canadian authorities they will be immediately arrested.
I have to advise you it's illegal to enter Canada here.
Right now you're under arrest for crossing the border of Canada.
It's illegal to enter Canada here. If you do so, you will be placed under arrest by the police.
But every day, a seemingly endless stream of asylum seekers intent on trying to find safe haven in yet another country cross the line anyway.
So why are a lot of people running away to all these places seeking asylum or even going as refugees? Most of the developed countries or underdeveloped countries are actually the backbones of raw materials for the most developed nations.
Camp is now home to thousands of people, migrants, mostly Haitian, aiming to start a new life in the U.S., waiting in brutal conditions to be processed by border agents. A surge so overwhelming, the Biden administration announced a new plan to swiftly deport those who do not qualify for asylum.
We're working around the clock to expeditiously move migrants out of the heat, elements, and from underneath this bridge to our processing facilities in order to quickly process and remove individuals from the United States consistent with our laws and our policies.
And because of this, most of the resources are taken away from them to develop those developed countries. But why wouldn't we, as humans, distribute these resources equally amongst us? At least you're getting these resources from a group of people. Make sure that their environment is conducive. Make sure that they have security, they are protected. Make sure that they have good food, good houses, and other things, so as not to overcrowd your society with these guys. Welcome to Experience Africans. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you watch this video up until the end so that you get to understand what we do on this channel. Before I forget, my name is Harry. I'm a travel consultant and also a content creator. I'm passionate about showcasing the beauty, the experiences of our fellow brothers and sisters scattered all around the globe. Your support keeps us going and motivated to keep creating more content. If you feel like sharing your story to inspire someone else, please feel free to contact me on my email. Today, our focus is on asylum seekers.
I'll take your bag.
Warnings are everywhere on this road in Champlain, New York. They don't deter the stream of people, many of whom have cobbled together a way to get to Manhattan, then take a bus to a town 28 miles south of here. Pay a driver to drop them off at this tiny corridor. They're unaware of what lies ahead and the cold they'll face along the way.
God bless you. Okay, let me see about a jacket.
Some community members trying to help, providing them with warm clothes that they'll need.
It's okay. It's okay.
People from all over the world are crossing Roxham at historic rates. We met a family from Nigeria, a man from Russia.
No money. No money.
Thank you. Thank you.
And these people are coming from third world countries and underdeveloped countries, which are actually the producers and the supporters that the whole developed nations depend on for one thing or the other to succeed.
And this South American mother, in tears, who tells me she's been traveling many days to get here. Giovanna tells me she and her 23-year-old daughter were denied foreign visas last year when guerrillas in Colombia threatened to kill her. She says she was forced to close her business and flee. I feel I can have a better quality of life in Canada instead of remaining in the U.S., she told me, before she stepped over the border.
Video that trended on social media, we saw a Nigerian guy who jumped at the airport and committed suicide just because he was going to be deported back to his home country. We've also seen videos of people in Toronto, Canada.
How long have you been outside for?
It's a month.
Desperate refugees who've come to Canada looking for a safe haven are now living on the streets. How hard has this been on you?
So hard. It's unspeakable. It's so hard.
The problem? The city of Toronto says there's just no more space in their shelter system and that the federal government needs to pony up some cash to help create that space.
Where a lot of immigrants were seen lying on the floor without shelter because the shelters are already overcrowded and the government needed more funds to provide shelter for those who are coming in as asylum seekers or as refuge.
We also know that refugees is also a federal responsibility, and we need at least $160 million from the federal government to help us in sheltering these refugees.
Some of these people are based on human rights activities and they feel that their rights have been trampled upon. They are not safe where they are because of their practice or their beliefs, and so they also want to have a place that they can call their home. A lot of countries have opened their arms to people who seek asylums, and for high-level government personnel, there are a lot of countries who normally give them asylum whenever there is that demand for them to find a place of refuge.
Painful goodbye with his family.
Be strong. Be strong.
He doesn't know when he'll see them again. Festus Odua is leaving all he has.
We'll get you back.
And the chance he took on Canada.
My dad doesn't hug, so there you go.
This is where I'm safe. I feel that Canada is a safe country and they are good people. That's why I came here. At least I can make a better family, make a better life.
And that's what he did. Festus crossed the border at Emerson in 2017. He met Ricky last year while working in Winnipeg. They got married in January and welcomed their daughter in August. They moved to Ricky's hometown of Flin Flon, Manitoba.
He's going to miss her first Christmas, her second Christmas, her first birthday, my brother and sister-in-law's wedding, because we made a grave error in judgment.
The couple began working on their spousal sponsorship application back in January when they were married, in hopes of getting Festus permanent residency. But they didn't file that until November. They said they were told to wait to include their daughter's birth certificate.
We had it all ready to be submitted end of
But our
July.
council advised us that we should wait.
Wait for the birth certificate.
It arrived on November 15th, 2 days after their meeting with the Canadian Border Services Agency, where he was told his departure date was Monday.
This is all I got in my life. This family that I have here is all I got in my life for now. I don't even have a home in Nigeria to stay. I don't even have, if I come down on the plane, I don't even know where I'm going to.
The Odua's lawyer asked CBSA to defer his removal until a decision was reached on the sponsorship application. It was denied. Guy Legras, inland enforcement officer for the CBSA in Winnipeg, wrote in a letter he didn't discount the importance of the relationship between father and child, but he did not agree that a separation would have substantial or long-term effects on the development of the child. Legras also wrote Ricky could choose to relocate with her husband to Nigeria.
There's kidnapping, there's Boko Haram terrorists, different terrorist groups, there's robbery, different crime, and yet they said my family can visit me.
Asylum is actually someone seeking to run away for his life when it is being threatened in terms of either religious practice, beliefs, race, or even domestic violence. Somebody might be looking for a place to find refuge. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you still waiting for? Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll always be notified whenever I upload another amazing video like this.
The way to close Roxham Road is to renegotiate the Safe Third Country Agreement with the United States, which is something that we've been working on for many, many, many months now.
A lot of people, over almost 100 million people every year are seeking asylum. The statistics have it for the year 2022 at 89 million people were seeking asylum. Most of these people leave their homes in wrenching decisions driven by the pursuit for safety and a better lifestyle. And that's one of the reasons that most of these people leave their comfort zones, their uncomfort zones to go seek asylum in developed countries. According to the UNHCR, the global asylum crisis is a situation where millions of people are forcefully displaced worldwide as a result of conflicts, persecution, human rights violations, and violence, some of the key factors.
There's still no clear solution from government, but today, members of the community are coming forward to help. CTV's Allison Hurst is live on Peter near Richmond with the details. Allison.
This has been an ongoing issue for weeks. People, asylum seekers, refugees sleeping here on the streets just outside of a city building. As all the levels of government argue over who must pay to house refugees, a Toronto businessman is pledging to take it on himself.
We're making phone calls to every landlord in the city. You have a space, let us know, right? I know your worries. It's your building. We can deal with it tomorrow or after tomorrow. These are walls, but you could do a bigger gesture where you're not doing it for free. We'll pay you.
There are about 103 million forcibly displaced people at mid-2022. 42% of them were children under 18. Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Myanmar account for 2/3 of people displaced across borders. The countries hosting the largest numbers of refugees are Turkey, Colombia, Pakistan, Uganda, and Germany. 17% of the world's refugees are hosted by developed countries. Where does the majority go to? Low and middle income countries host about 76% of the world's refugees and other people in need of international protection.
The relief that you see on their faces is just astonishing when they arrive. Some are in shock, they're dehydrated, exhausted. And this, remember, is the beginning, not the end of their journey through Europe.
After a brief detention, she'll likely be released to join fellow migrants who are learning the asylum process in Canada isn't easy either. These last few years have seen an influx in crossings that Canada is not prepared to handle. Simply securing appointments to obtain a work authorization can now take months or longer.
This individual crossed in February, and you're seeing that their date's actually
If you like what we do on this channel and value the stories that we share, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share our videos with friends and family. By doing so, you empower us to create more positive content, which can generate to more positive change and awareness worldwide. Together, we can make a difference. The world is witnessing an unprecedented number of asylum seekers. Unfortunately, not all of them find sanctuary, the sanctuary they seek. Accommodation shortages, deportations, and inhumane conditions have become harsh.
Are shattered. If you could only, like offer an olive branch, for us to stand again, be it housing, we shall contribute to this great country.
I have a health condition I mentioned earlier called sickle cell, and I also have history of pneumonia. So I was rushed to the hospital in the morning yesterday. Most times I can't even afford my medications anymore. I'm going to fight to the end, to my last breath, because going home is not an option. That would instantly kill my mom. I rather appeal to the government that I should be killed and my organs donated to people who need it than going back.
By increasing awareness and fostering empathy, we can drive change. Let's stand together to create a world where everyone has opportunities to thrive irrespective of their origin. As we conclude today, remember that behind every statistics, there is a person with dreams, aspirations, and potentials. Shedding light on their stories, we aim to inspire understanding, compassion, and action. Seeking asylum is a complex issue that requires global cooperation and empathy. Let's keep the conversation alive. Share this story and work towards a world where everyone can find safety and prosperity. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, make sure you stay compassionate and keep exploring the world around you. Safe travels, everyone.
What keeps you going every single day? What keeps you...
Hope. The hope I had when I was coming, it's the same hope that keeps me going.